There, I think we're live. Oh, you can see the reflection of my computer in this. I'm showing you the engraving on my ring here, my OTO ring. And you'll notice it says T, capital T, LMD. And LMD is my initials, but LMD and the tau, or the T, this is sort of my bishop's ring, okay, my archbishop's ring, if you will. But it was made for me because I didn't have a bishop's ring of any kind. And my good sister Donna, she said, "You need a bishop's ring." And I said, "Well, I want one that's so big you could kiss it from across the room." And of course, bishop's rings are made of amethyst, by tradition anyway. And so Donna Gordon made this. She designed it herself. She's a ring maker. She designed it herself. There's EGC on the other side there. And went out and purchased a giant amethyst and sent it off to an expert engraver, or whatever they call it. See, I don't know, how can I put that so you can see what it is? It is upside down is what it is. It's the eye in the triangle and the diving dove. And there, and it can be used to seal things. So the reason I'm showing you this is because I had it out, because I seldom wear it. I never wear it in public unless it's at a Gnostic Mass or something like that, or at a formal OTO event. And I was just putting it away because I wore it this weekend in Denver. But I want to talk about magic mottos today, and a lot of my magic mottos is concerned with this LMD, which is my initials. So, now, for many years now, my book, which I considered the part 2, or My Life with the Spirits, Volume 2, I called it Homemade Magic, and the good people at Llewellyn published it. And many of you bought it, many of you have it, and it was in print for a number of years. Then for one reason or another, not because it didn't sell well, but for some publishing reasons, after the first edition, they didn't want to reprint it. And so my good folks at Magical Egypt, that publishes, our tarot cards here, said, "I'll do it." Well, it's been a while, and that project, all of our lives got complicated and stuff. But anyway, it's back on at least the middle burner, and hopefully, because it looked like, hang on. I don't know if you remember it, but the cover looked something like that. Okay. And I hope you'll be patient, and when it comes out again, published by next millennium, that you'll buy a 6-pack of them. Anyway, there is a chapter in it called right up front on magical mottos. The idea being that everything you do in magic, whether you belong to a formal magical group or organization, or a formal mentor relationship kind of magic, ultimately all magic is homemade. It's yours. It's private. It's yours. It's funky. As fancy as you get it, it's funky. You're a funky magician, or you're not a magician at all, okay? And you got to kind of start, in kind of standard Western protocol of what you learn first in when you're dealing with Western magic. Well, you start with the pentagram ritual, so you know where you are on the face of the earth, and then you move to the hexagram rituals, where you know where you are in your, as if you identified with the sun, surrounded by the belt of the zodiac. And then there are transcendent things above that. But there's a step-by-step thing. And when it comes to, well, I think I want to identify myself as a magician. And there's a step-by-step way of doing that too. And the first one is a magical motto. So you don't know who you are. Well, at least not. We won't know who we are until it doesn't matter to us who we are, okay? But let me share at least a little bit from this chapter of Who Are You? And I start off with Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, where she meets the caterpillar that's sitting on a mushroom. I wonder what, smoking a hookah. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each other for some time in silence. At last the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and addressed her in a languid, sleepy voice. "Who are you?" said the caterpillar, and "you" is all in caps. Okay? Who are you? That was not an encouraging opening for a conversation. Alice replied rather shyly, I hardly know, sir, at present. At least I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then. That's so freaking heavy, I can't believe it. Okay. Every journey has, this is Lon now. Every journey has a destination. Every journey has a path or paths to that destination. And every journey has obstacles and challenges along the way. For magicians, our destination is supreme enlightenment, union with absolute, the absolute, and absolute integration with the supreme intelligence of the cosmos, complete identity with the universal consciousness. The path is, at least for a little while, the magical arts and disciplines. The obstacles and challenges on the path are our shortcomings, character flaws, vices, bad habits, fears, imbalances, misperceptions, and personal demons that are currently distracting and preventing us from waking up from the dream world of unenlightenment. Before we can even discuss the destination or the path or the obstacles, however, we need to identify just who it is that will be taking this journey. We need a traveler, a sojourner, a hero, someone to experience the trip. The journey needs you. It sounds simple enough, but it really isn't. Who you are, or who you think you are, is vitally important. Allow me to digress for a moment. Yes, I say that in print, but I digress. Constance and I were very young when we first started living together. She was 19 years old and I was 18. Yes, she's almost 6 months older than I. From the very beginning of our relationship, we identified ourselves as spiritual adventurers, cosmic gypsies who had once again incarnated to pick up where we had left off, to continue our quest, and to take the next step toward enlightenment. Admittedly, we were romantic and naive, but we were also spiritually audacious, and we delighted in our explorations of what were for us exotic foreign religions and cultures. We enjoyed fantasizing about our previous incarnations. We playfully identified ourselves as our own homemade mythological characters on a timeless quest. We assumed whimsical Native American names, Sleeping Bear and Smiling Squirrel. Guess which one I was? And speculated about medieval lies as court jester and scullery maid, or Mandarin lord and youngest wife. We hand-painted bizarre and patently offensive anti-Christmas cards and mailed them to our clueless and easily shocked relatives. And whenever possible, we wore our new colorful mystical opinions and personas on our sleeves. As sophomoric and as silly as these fanciful lovers' games were, they taught us how to begin discovering who we are. They serve to seriously establish and formulate our magical identities and train our imaginations. Constance and I were fortunate in our youth, and silliness allowed us to fall quite naturally into the spirit of the game of magical self-identification. For others, it might take a little more effort. And I have to digress here for a second and say, for us, the psychedelic 60s played a big role in making this process easier. No matter what your age, background, or circumstances, the process must begin by asking yourself, who am I? So, who are you? Don't answer with your name, because you know darn well that's not who you are. Don't try to avoid this question, because it's a big one. Unless you can come up with some kind of answer to this question, there won't be a magician to work the magic. Well, who are you? Traditionally, the phrase, know thyself, was chiseled in stone above the threshold of the temples of the ancient mysteries. That sounds wise and serious, like serious advice, doesn't it? But think about it. The chances of you truly knowing yourself anytime soon are slim to none. Know thyself. Give me a break. Even though those words represent the first piece of advice that you get at the beginning of your magical career, the cold hard fact remains that true real self-realization is likely to be the very last thing that's ever going to happen to you. Who and what you really are will be the final revelation in life's great mystery play. The last tiny bit of information your, by then, near infinitely expanded consciousness will process in the blinding microseconds just before you ecstatically sizzle into pure, undifferentiated Godhead. Oh, that's what I am. But if you don't know who you are, there obviously can't be a you to take the journey. There is no you to choose the destination, no you to find the path, no you to overcome the obstacles, no you for the magical universe to torture and delight and broaden and purify and perfect. No hook of a you upon which to hang the great adventure of your destiny. But don't worry. There is a real you in there somewhere. And even though you currently don't have a clue about who or what you are, the discovery process has to begin somewhere. And you begin by first pretending you know who you are. Yes, like everything else in life, you're going to have to fake it till you make it. There's no other way to start. Does that sound silly? Does that sound irrational? Does that sound insane? Sound like cheating? Welcome to the world of homemade magic. No need to wait for a guru or a magical mentor or some lofty adept or high priest or priestess or some mysterious secret society hierophant to initiate you. You must just have to haul off and do it yourself. Go ahead, roll up the sleeves on your magical robe and start faking it till you make it. Start right now by pretending you know who you are. It's easy. You begin by renaming yourself, by giving yourself a new homemade identity, a magical motto. Let's see how long the next part is, and I'll decide whether I'll just return tomorrow with Chapter 2, Your Homemade Magical Motto. And as you can probably guess, mine has something to do with my name. Lon Milo DuQuette adds up to 444. I just love that. My initials are LMD, Lamed. The center letter of the Hebrew alphabet. What else is LMD? Lots of stuff is LMD. Anyway, I'll share that with you tomorrow. In the meantime, what would you come up with as a magical motto? A phrase, a word, a couple of words, words and numbers. Who are you? Who are you? And think about that. You may already have a magical motto. Is it fresh? Is it still who you are? Change your magical motto 1,000 times if you have to, because you'll change 1,000 times. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.